Edmund Alton's Sonny Schmidt, better known as Sonny Schmidt, was one of the most striking names in professional bodybuilding during the 1990s. Of Samoan and New Zealand descent, he built his career on the IFBB circuit between 1989 and 1999, going head-to-head with some of the biggest athletes of his generation. Even though he's not always remembered by the mainstream audience, his impact on the sport was deep and historically significant. At a time when the bodybuilding scene was dominated by American and European physiques, Sonny stood out as a true symbol of representation. He wasn't just another competitor stepping on stage. He carried the identity of an entire people with him. Every appearance drew attention not just because of his size, but because of his presence, his muscle density, and the raw strength he seemed to radiate. Sonny Schmidt's story begins with a few small inconsistencies, something fairly common when talking about athletes who came from cultural backgrounds that weren't well documented at the time. He was born in September 1953, but different sources list two possible dates, September 9th or September 19th. Over time, more reliable genealogical records have pointed to September 19th, 1953, as the most accurate date. The same uncertainty applies to his place of birth. While some records list Western Samoa, more recent documentation indicates that Sonny was born in Auckland, New Zealand. The son of Taiapalai Bismarck Fritz Alfred Januario Schmidt and Sieni Taito, Sonny grew up with a very strong Polynesian heritage at home. The names, the family structure, and the values passed down from an early age all point to a deep connection with Samoan traditions, something that would shape not only his personality, but also the way he viewed discipline, respect, and physical effort. That family background played a decisive role in shaping the man Sonny would become. In Polynesian cultures, strength, endurance, and hard work aren't just physical traits, they're moral virtues. Growing up with that mindset shapes the mind long before it ever shapes the body. It was in Western Samoa that the foundation of Sonny Schmidt was truly built. Raised in the village of Sofotu, on the island of Savaii, he grew up far from gyms, machines, and modern training methods. His training as a child came from everyday life itself, shaped by a simple, demanding lifestyle deeply rooted in the community. Life in Sofotu meant constant physical work. Fishing, manual labor, long walks, and community responsibilities were part of daily life from a very young age. Nothing came easy, nothing was automated. The body was challenged all the time, and that natural demand developed strength, endurance, and coordination long before anyone called it training. The major turning point in Sonny Schmidt's life came when he left Western Samoa and moved to Melbourne, Australia, in early adulthood. That move wasn't just geographical, it was cultural and professional as well. For the first time, he had access to proper gyms, organized competitions, and an environment where bodybuilding could truly become a career. In Melbourne, Sonny began to deliberately build what had previously been just natural strength. He started training with consistency and intensity, focusing on basic movements, heavy weights, and steady progression. What makes his journey even more impressive is that Sonny didn't start competing early, like most professionals do. He earned his IFBB Pro card in 1989 at around 36 years old. By bodybuilding standards, that was considered extremely late. Physically, Sonny Schmidt was impossible to overlook. Standing about 5 feet 10 inches tall, roughly 178 centimeters, and weighing around 240 pounds on stage, about 109 kilograms, he displayed one of the densest and most impactful physiques of his era. It wasn't just about size, it was about muscle quality, intelligently distributed across his entire body. His extremely thick arms grabbed attention right away, but it was his wide, dense back that truly stood out when he turned around on stage. His legs and calves, often neglected by other athletes, were clear strengths, contributing to a look that was powerful, yet balanced and well-proportioned. That physique wasn't built through gimmicks or flashy, overcomplicated methods. Sonny always followed a training style that was simple, heavy, and effective. The foundation of his workouts was built around compound lifts like squats, deadlifts, and bench presses, movements that demand the whole body and build real, functional mass. He truly believed that real strength comes from doing the basics right. His routine followed a traditional muscle split approach, allowing full focus on each muscle group along with proper recovery time. Cardio was used in moderation, not as an aesthetic obsession, but as a tool to maintain conditioning and overall health throughout contest prep. When it came to nutrition, Sonny kept things straightforward and disciplined. His diet was centered around lean protein sources, paired with complex carbohydrates to fuel long, intense training sessions, plus consistent hydration throughout the day. No extremes, no trends, just structure and consistency. Between 1989 and 1999, Sonny Schmidt built one of the most consistent careers in professional bodybuilding. Over the course of just one decade, he competed in nearly 50 IFBB contests, a number that alone speaks volumes about his physical durability, discipline, and longevity. He wasn't a guy who showed up once in a while. Sonny was always there, always competitive. What stood out most about his career was consistency. Even while facing incredibly strong generations of athletes, he frequently placed inside the top 10 at the biggest shows in the world. That reliability earned him deep respect behind the scenes, even if the media rarely labeled him a favorite. On the Mr. Olympia stage, the most demanding platform in bodybuilding, Sonny made multiple appearances. He placed 6th in 1991, 7th in 1992, 8th in 1993, 10th in 1994, and 13th in 1995. At an event where only the best physiques on the planet compete, repeatedly staying near the top was already a massive achievement. Another major highlight came at the Arnold Classic, where he secured an impressive 3rd place in 1992 and returned to the stage again in 1994. Add to that strong showings at events like the Night of Champions, Niagara Falls Pro, San Jose Pro, and a long run across the European Grand Prix circuit, where he faced different crowds and judging standards. That phase of his career cemented Sonny Schmidt as a reliable competitor, the kind of athlete who always delivered a solid, dense, and competitive physique. The true peak of Sonny Schmidt's career came in 1995 on the stage of the IFBB Masters Olympia in Atlanta, Georgia. The contest brought together athletes over the age of 40, many of them absolute legends of the sport. At 42 years old, Sonny arrived not as the favorite, but as someone ready to surprise everyone. That night, he defeated highly respected names like Robbie Robinson and Patrick Nichols, delivering one of the best versions of his physique ever. From the first call-out, it was clear something was different. His conditioning was extremely dry, his muscles looked denser than ever, and his overall presentation stood out from every angle. Judges especially praised his muscle density and symmetry. He wasn't just big, he was balanced. Every pose showed muscular maturity, control, and a calm stage presence that radiated confidence. It was the kind of physique that didn't need exaggeration to impress. It spoke for itself. When the results were announced, Sonny Schmidt's victory meant far more than just a title. He became the first Olympia champion of Samoan descent, a historic milestone that broke barriers and opened doors for athletes from the Pacific Islands on the professional stage. The impact was immediate. Magazines like Muscle and Fitness and Iron Man highlighted the win as both historic and unexpected. Sonny, once known mainly as a consistent competitor, was now officially recognized as a champion. After his crowning moment at the 1995 Masters Olympia, Sonny Schmidt could have slowed down, but he did the exact opposite. He kept competing at a high level, proving that his victory wasn't a fluke, but the result of years of steady, disciplined work. Even as he got older, his physique remained dense, competitive, and highly respected. In the years that followed, Sonny continued to be a constant presence on the Masters podium. He earned 2nd place at the Masters Olympia in both 1996 and 1997, facing seasoned athletes with impressive resumes. Those results only reinforced his reputation as one of the most reliable and respected competitors in the over 40 division. In 1998, another major highlight followed, a 2nd place finish at the Arnold Masters. Performing well on such a demanding stage showed that Sonny was still among the best, even in an era where the overall level kept rising year after year. His mature muscle, along with his technical consistency, remained his greatest strengths. The final chapter of his professional career came in 1999 at the Masters Olympia, where he placed 3rd. It wasn't a quiet farewell. On the contrary, it was the closing act of a career defined by respect, consistency, and solid results all the way to the end. That's how Sonny Schmidt stepped away from the IFBB stages, with dignity, competitiveness, and admiration. He didn't leave because his level dropped, but because it was the natural moment to walk away after fulfilling his role in the sport. After retiring from competition, Sonny Schmidt's life took a completely unexpected turn. In 2000, already off the stage, he was arrested in Australia for involvement in a cocaine importation scheme linked to the well-known criminal Tony Mockbell. The news shocked the bodybuilding world and surprised even those who had followed his career closely. Sonny eventually pleaded guilty during the legal process and received a 3-year prison sentence. For someone who had spent decades building discipline, respect, and a strong reputation in the sport, this moment marked a brutal fall. From admired champion to convicted defendant, his public image took a heavy hit. However, it was during this period of rupture that a quiet but decisive transformation took place. While in prison, Sonny experienced a religious conversion and became a born-again Christian. This change wasn't superficial or temporary and is often described as a true turning point in his personal life. According to accounts, faith gave meaning to a time marked by loss, reflection, and regret. Far from the stages, the spotlight, and the identity of an athlete, Sonny was forced to confront who he was outside of bodybuilding. Spirituality became a new foundation, offering purpose during one of the hardest chapters of his life. By the end of 2003, Sonny Schmidt entered the most difficult phase of his life. He was diagnosed with cancer, a disease that progressed quickly and aggressively, leaving little room for effective treatment or long recovery periods. In a short time, his physical condition deteriorated drastically. Even after facing tough battles throughout his life, on stage, in court, and on a personal level, this would be the most relentless one of all. Sonny spent his final months away from the spotlight, at home in Melbourne, dealing with the illness privately and surrounded by those closest to him. In his final moments, he was accompanied by family and friends who stayed by his side until the end. There was no longer a champion, a competitor, or a public symbol. There was only the man, facing human fragility after a life defined by extreme strength. Sonny Schmidt passed away on January 25, 2004, at the age of 50, in Victoria, Australia. His death prematurely closed the story of an athlete who still had much to offer as a reference, mentor, and symbol within bodybuilding. He was laid to rest at Northern Memorial Park in Glenroy, Victoria, a simple place, but one filled with meaning for those who knew his journey. Sonny Schmidt's true legacy goes far beyond trophies and placings. He became a powerful symbol of Polynesian representation in professional bodybuilding, proving that athletes from the Pacific Islands could compete and win on the biggest stages in the world. His presence opened doors and changed how these athletes came to be seen within the sport. For many young Samoan and Polynesian athletes, Sonny wasn't just an elite bodybuilder. He was living proof that your origins don't define your limits. His success inspired athletes from those regions to dream bigger and believe that international bodybuilding could be a place for them too. His influence was so direct that it even reached within his own family. One of the best-known examples is his cousin, actor and personal trainer Joe Nafa'u, who began training at a young age under Sonny's guidance in Melbourne. Those sessions played a key role in sparking a lifelong passion for strength, physique, and discipline. Behind the scenes, Sonny was remembered as a humble guy, approachable with fans and deeply respected by fellow athletes. Even with an intimidating physique, his attitude was calm, quiet, and genuinely kind. He never acted like he was above anyone, which was rare in such a fiercely competitive environment. Sonny Schmidt's story reminds us that bodybuilding isn't just about muscle. It's about origin, identity, choices, and legacy. He proved that you can reach the top even if you start late, come from far away, and carry the weight of representing something bigger than yourself. If this journey made you think, inspired you, or taught you something new, hit the like button right now. It really helps the channel keep bringing you deep stories like this one. And if you want to support our work even more, consider becoming a channel member. Now I want to hear from you. Which part of Sonny Schmidt's story stood out to you the most? Drop your comment below. I read every single one. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next videos about the greatest legends in bodybuilding. On the end screen, you'll see another video from the channel that perfectly complements this story. Click on it and keep this journey going with us.